Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Burning Truth. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Burning Truth. I am the man,
the myth,
the legend,
Nathan Goth.
I am accompanied by the bad boy of British wrestling.
Haven't heard that in a while.
Matthew McGuinness Montgomery Burns.
New one? Matthew's old and gets out every week. I like the fact that you actually included Nigel in, but Montgomery?
Yes, so we are here. We are the Burning Truth.
Yes, and we will like to state one thing straight away. We do apologise for being late.
Very late.
Very, very late. Straight away, I'm going to hate admitting this. This is my fault. While we're late, we had to have a bit of an emergency meeting over a few things before we had to go on the air. And unfortunately, the said meeting took a little bit longer than anticipated. But the stuff had to be said. Stuff had to be done, and we're now live.
Yes, so one of the first things we're going to kick in with is a question I have had from a follower of ourselves, which is Sean Cooper from Stafford, and he has asked me if we can discuss the subject of, which is very rare, of how big would WCW have been if it had made a few more years where the networks took it seriously.
As in, where to the point where...
So it's basically carrying on from the point of Ted Turner abandoned WCW in 2001. So he's asked us, where would WCW be if the networks would have took it from 2001 to, say, 2004? Where would it have been?
So, if they had the backing...
Yes.
I think the major issue that they had is the backing. They had no backing in the end.
Yeah, so I suppose what this question requires is, what would have happened if Eric Bischoff had gotten his way? So if Eric Bischoff and his company had acquired control, but supposedly Bischoff had got a network.
Bischoff had supposedly got some people to... is this after the Ted Turner stuff?
Yeah, so this is, instead of it collapsing and WWE buying it, what would have happened if it could have carried on? How big would it have gotten?
It would mean the Monday Night Wars wouldn't be over.
I disagree. So...
Go on.
Vince would have still acquired ECW.
Yes, that was a given.
But it means, what wrestler would WCW have acquired? So we saw how WCW acquired and used Raven and the Sandman, which were two of ECW's biggest stars.
Yep.
So Sandman was classed as Hawk.
Hawk or Hack.
Yeah. And Raven was still
Raven.
But challenging for the TV championship.
Television championship, and now and again the US.
Yeah. Whereas Hawk was just a low card jobber.
Yeah.
So they were there to try to attract ECW's audience, but not to
the extreme of...
Yeah, whereas Taz had been acquired and the Dudley Boys had been acquired, but were still being pushed as future stars. So if you compare Sandman's run in WCW compared to Taz's run...
Oh, easily Taz had the better run.
Taz had the better 3 or 4 month debut.
Well, take into account first day he debuts.
Chokes out Kurt Angle.
Chokes out Kurt Angle and makes Kurt Angle lose his first match ever.
Can't say he loses, he chokes him out. Kurt Angle argued that wasn't a technical...
But on the record, it's still a...
Yes. But he still managed to choke out the Olympic gold medalist.
However, you have just remembered the subject I will need to discuss with you on the air, because it's going to involve one of us getting our arses kicked, potentially.
Go
on. I'll explain that one a bit later. It's most likely going to be me. I'll explain why later.
Yeah, but on like the standpoint of house shows versus main shows.
Yep.
Taz was on a main show which was televised, and he had choked out, and the term choked out was used on television.
Yes, it was.
Kurt Angle. Whereas, what had Hawk done?
Hack.
Yeah.
Or Sandman. Get beat up. Pretty much.
Whereas, his return to ECW was massive.
Massive, yeah.
So where would WCW have been post 2001?
I think Hardcore Hack would...
TNA would not exist.
I think it would.
I don't think it would.
Oh, actually, no, it wouldn't, because if WCW was around, Jeff Jarrett was involved in WCW.
So was AJ Styles. So was Raven.
The NWA would still be around, though.
Yes. But TNA would not be the second biggest company in America at that point.
Yes.
So 2002-2003, TNA was a place where WWE stars could go to still appear on television besides Ring of Honor. But with Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Jarrett's backing, still get a decent wage.
Yes. I agree with that.
So if WCW was still around, it would still have some of the talent that it had. But we wouldn't have seen the invasion angle.
We want to see the invasion angle, which a lot of people, some might say, yay! Some might say, boo. That's always a mixed convoluted plot.
So, what would we have had? So, you would have still had the Dudley Boys, you would have had Taz, to Jerry.
What about Lance Storm? Where would he be?
That's an interesting discussion. I would like to think, after the Attitude Era, it would have ended up in WWE. Still, because that's where his friends were still banging around. Friends being Edge, Christian, Rhino, Raven.
But Raven was in WCW.
People like Just Incredible would not have been in WWE, I don't think. They would have been at WCW.
You think? Oh,
and
straight away.
Mike Awesome would have had a better run at WCW than he would have had at WWE. The NWO would still be alive instead of being brought back as a...
But would that be a positive or a negative? Because the problem
it'd be the Wolf Pack, maybe the Black and White, the normal NWO.
Wolf Pack ended up ending when the faked out and found out it was all one big plan, part of Hogan. That's what the thing of Poker Doom was. That killed the Wolf Pack.
Yeah, but the Wolf Pack had been gone, possibly come back.
Potentially, but the problem that they had with NWO is NWO got too big for its boots.
Yeah, but would they shrink it down to...
They would have had to have done.
Yeah, which would have been a feud on its own.
But straight away, the issue they had at WCW is when they were handing out contracts, they gave too many creative clause.
Yeah, so Hogan, Nash, Booker T could still pick on feuds. So you wouldn't have Booker T in WWE. He might not have been an Intercontinental Champion, might not have been a US Champion, might not be a future Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And here's the thing,
Would Eric Bischoff have been the GM?
No. Really? You think Bischoff would be GM when he's owning his own company?
Would he have owned it? Would he have tried to sell it on in the late 2000s? Well, late 2002?
I don't think he would have. I actually think he would have actually tried. If you actually watch some of his DVD, he actually says, he wanted to be there, and he actually says he's glad it ended the way it did, as in WWE winning, because he doesn't think he'd be as forthright and as kind as what Vince McMahon has been. he honestly he admits it, but he actually appreciates the fact that there's a WWE network where he's able to talk about how yes he outlasted WWE for so long and whatnot. But
did he outlast him?
No. That with the big massive run, they were saying, which is fair enough, and they did beat him for several weeks. But here's the thing: he actually turned around and said this. He goes, for somebody who managed to create, we created animosity between us, but at the same time we drew ratings. And the fact that Vince McMahon turned around and says, we'll still do business, after all that had happened, he appreciated the fact that Vince was still willing to do business.
Would WCW still be around today if Vincent Kennedy McMahon hadn't bought them?
At the time. My honest opinion, no.
I think they might have lasted a couple of another years.
Yeah.
But with their creative control, they were on a downward
They
spiral.
were on a downward spiral, and here's the thing: a lot of people had done too much damage. David Arquette, world champion.
Vince Russo on his own. It was basically like the Titanic of the wrestling world.
It was sort of imploding on itself. If it wasn't the fact of the money being the issue, it would have been the talent issue. The talent would have been the issue eventually. People arguing over contracts, which then would have drawn out, which eventually would have leaned again straight back to money because people would have been leaving the contracts, having to pay.
I honestly believe, unlike Paul Heyman, Bischoff did not have another direction that he wanted to take the business in. So Bischoff, circular 2001, had his idea for MMA meets wrestling.
Right.
Which he admits on ECW Exposed.
Yeah.
Bischoff, I don't think he had a separate plan.
You want to do wrestling?
Yeah. He didn't have an idea of this close combat meets wrestling. Because the people that Heyman was looking at signing, your CM Punks, your Daniel Bryan, were close combat, heavy hitting styles.
Yeah.
Loki had already agreed a principal deal.
Yeah.
So I think Bischoff was looking at an alternative style which could have progressed wrestling from what it was.
Yeah, because because at times a lot of people credit ECW for bringing the luchadors
Yes, so like Rey Mysterio, Psychosis,
and whatnot.
Super Crazy.
But then, where did they go? Where did they move to? WCW exclusively, more so. And then WWE had to try to create their own division, the light heavyweight, which we all know how that ended.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: WCW had the cruiserweights in a nutshell. So straight away, would we ever have the high flying matches?
Yes, I believe we would, because in '98 we still had S.A. Rios, Taka Michinoku, Brian Christopher, Scotty Tuati.
Flash Funk?
Not under £220.
No, he wasn't then because he was Too Cold Scorpio in the ECW.
Yeah. So I still believe we had our light heavyweight division. The only thing I believe would have changed is we might have seen Paul Heyman's close combat style of wrestling. So like
Daniel Bryan's.
And CM Punk kicking the shit out of each other.
The low keys.
So it might have been like Ken Shamrock versus Owen Hart, but in that Lions Den match,
what with the ECW?
that is the style that we might see in 2001, 2002.
Yeah, if it was still around.
WCW was still around.
It's a good action point. I don't think they would be around today.
No.
No.
I think they would have finished 2005, 2006.
It's about right, personally, but that's our view, because I think the issues that it wasn't just a financial issue that they had. They also had
more personal issue.
There was more personal issues, locker room issues, and everything. It would have ended soon enough if it, if the network didn't cut off when it did. More money would have been wasted, And then I think probably, if anything, more bitterness.
Yeah, so it was probably good that it finished when it did.
Yeah, because...
However, that's been an interesting talking point.
Yes.
So, if you want to talk about anything with ourselves,
right,
message us at The Burning Truth at
Outlook.com.
Yeah, so that's fine. So, let's move on to more recent events.
Can I just bring up that subject that I mentioned earlier?
Go on.
Quickly. We all know about records.
You're going to bring up Asuka.
Yes.
And I'm going to quickly kick you straight in the dick.
Why?
Asuka losing on a house show in a battle royal means fuck all.
It wasn't in a house show.
It was not at NXT.
It was at NXT.
Not at a televised event.
Yes, it was.
Show me the proof.
Do I need to get it yet? I will get it to you after, and I will show it you.
Show me the proof of commentary on an NXT WWE event.
I will happily show you that straight after this.
And then, bear in mind that most championship undefeated records happen when they lose a one-on-one or a triple threat or a fatal four-way match, not a battle royal like you're about to argue with Asuka. If you lose a battle royal, you can lose a battle royal by having 14 other people eliminate you.
That's fine.
How many battle royals have you lost, Matt Burns?
I've lost plenty, so I do add them.
I do
add
plenty,
them. I do add them. They still count. They are matches.
Are they?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. It's a Royal Rumble match.
I can't agree with you.
No, I'm sorry, but even so, it's still a match. It's a match. An undefeated streak.
Yeah, but she lost a tag team match before that.
A tag team, you know. So she already lost the match.
Which is what we brought up.
Fair enough, but she also
ages ago. She lost a tag team match.
Yeah.
But we argue, because she hasn't lost a one-on-one match, she is still practically undefeated in championship or
in
similar
one-on-ones.
occasions matchups.
Yes, technicality, but when they actually try to make out it's a complete 100% undefeated streak because they never lost.
Has she ever been pinned or submitted?
You don't need to be pinned or submitted.
Has she ever been pinned or submitted?
No.
So when you
not in WWE.
So when you look at records, here's what they normally go off. When you looked at your championship reign, which you probably won a couple of matches by disqualification.
Yes.
Were you still undefeated? Had you been pinned or submitted?
Well, hang on. As the champion,
in one-on-one matchups,
one-on-one,
had you been pinned?
Pinned as a champion in a non-title match. Yes.
Well, Asuka hasn't. Has she been submitted in championship or singles matches?
In WWE? No.
So
I
what
agree.
She's lost is therefore a throwaway.
I still agree with
battle
you.
royal that means the square root of pi.
It doesn't matter.
Or,
it
as
still
I like to look
counts.
at it, fuck all.
It still counts.
Really?
Yes.
So that's one time you went down Amsterdam and got your dick sucked by a prostitute. Does that count? As you losing your virginity?
Let me just take this for the record, folks. I've never been to Amsterdam. What he just fabricated is complete false lies.
Okay, so that one time you went down Cobridge.
Never been to Cambridge.
Really?
Nope.
Honestly? Ladies and gentlemen, that is a lie fabricated by Matthew the Bad
No,
Boy
it's
Burns.
not.
Every time I drive past him, he is always there outside of Tingles. For those of you that don't realise what Tingles is, YouTube it or Google images it, and you might see Matt there.
I have never been there. I can state that clearly for the record.
Google Images says otherwise.
I still call bull. I'll happily call bull. Anyway, the point being there is whenever someone says an undefeated streak, as much as you can say, when someone says undefeated, Bill Goldberg can say he never lost, right?
Because he never did.
Because he never did. But here's the thing: what some people don't realise is, did Bill Goldberg ever enter a Rumble?
Enter a Battle Royal.
Did he?
Which he won.
Yes. He won them. And the streak still in play. Still in play.
Like Matt Burns.
That doesn't matter anyway. Moving on, shall we?
Go on.
Right, we've been quite busy lately, haven't we?
Have we?
Yes, we have.
Where have we been?
We've been to Wolf and Pro Wrestling, where we conducted 3 interviews.
I thought I was going.
No, it wasn't going. Or what was the other place that you normally say? Cornwall.
Cornwall.
Cornwall. That joke's never going to get old. A lot of people may not understand it, but it's something that we've always had. But anyway, the funny thing about it is we've conducted 3 interviews. We've actually released one of them last Friday, which was with...
It was with Nightshade, which has been one of my most favourite interviews that we've done this year to date. So, Nightshade. Nightshade was one of the most down-to-earth but prominent UK wrestlers we have interviewed thus far.
And she seems to be doing quite well in her wrestling career.
So she wrestles all around the country. She travelled to Birmingham from Milton Keynes just to wrestle, which is a fair distance for those of you. That's about 80 miles, which is about 2.5 hours. And she was amazing. Utter professional.
Knows exactly how to rile a crowd.
But she was still willing to give us the time of day to sit down with me, because obviously she didn't want to talk to Matt, because Matt's a wanker.
You lying sack of shite.
That's it, isn't it?
You lying sack of shite. I'm pretty sure if we ever do a return interview, I dare you ask that question. I'm pretty sure she'll not state that for the record.
Did she ask for you?
She didn't ask for you either.
Yeah. What's the second time round? I'm pretty sure I might get the vote of confidence.
Oh, you get the vote of confidence. We'll see about that.
Since I was
I pushed
nice.
you forward and let you have the interview.
I was nice. I wasn't hard-hitting. I was a gentleman. Unlike you. Well, you're just a wanker.
Really? Cheap shots. You're almost as bad as Chris Drew. But we'll get on to that later.
If Chris Drew was here, he would call you as old as a Liberty Bell.
What? I have no idea what you're on about.
You just ask him. No, but Nat, she was utter professional. She was really kind. She gave us all the time in the world. Brilliant interview. You can watch it at the moment. It's on YouTube, which is, I think it's free.
Yes.
It's free.
It's not.
So, you don't have to pay to watch it, folks. You can just watch it. I know, it's amazing, because it doesn't usually happen. But you can just watch the interview and put your feedback at the bottom. It's fucking amazing. So, go have a look at it. Give us your feedback.
You can like, subscribe,
and follow us. There's plenty more interviews where that came from.
Plenty more. And if anybody's got any feedback or anything and whatnot, or any further hard questions, if they want to ask any questions the next time, if we get round to re-interviewing it, if there's any questions you want us to ask, then let us know.
But we hopefully, Nightshade will join us. She will come back for part 2. I would love it if she came back for part 2, because I could have personally carried on for an hour. She was that good.
I could see during the interview you're like, we can keep going.
But she requested 20-25 minutes, and that's what we give her. So if she wants more, hopefully she comes back for more. Also on that day we had Millie
McKenzie,
and we also had
Jesse Jones. Amazing
day.
Let me just say this, but
amazing day.
Let me just point out, When we say Jesse Jones, we don't mean the female. Just to point that out. He is the Pro Wrestling Subjective Heavyweight Champion.
It was an amazing day. We got interviewing Millie McKenzie, who is a machine. An absolute machine. She got muscles in places blokes don't have muscles. That girl is the female Brock Lesnar. If you look at that girl in the wrong way, you are going to Suplex City, bitch.
If I recall, I remember you thinking, I can see Jerry coming. I can see German Suplex coming. German Suplex coming. Boom! There it is!
It's the first time I've fled to the bar for security.
Yeah, and you actually did it.
But no, she's amazing. Utter professional.
Fantastic. Definitely got plenty of experience.
Yeah.
Wrestling experience and good breed of training as well. But we won't discuss that. When it comes out.
You can watch it on YouTube.
You'll be watching it on YouTube, which I believe, just to give a small hint, the Millie McKenzie interview,
which will be live on the UK Wrestle Fan Zone and the Burning Truth, which will appear following next Wednesday from about 5 onwards.
Not next Wednesday, next
on
Friday.
From 5 onwards at theburningtruth.com, YouTube and Spreaker. Just search Millie McKenzie interview.
It's not on Spreaker at all. It's actually just YouTube.
Just YouTube. Google Millie McKenzie interview. You will see the full interview on YouTube.
The Burning Truth, Millie McKenzie, you're done.
But no, we had a really good day.
Fantastic. And then we also had a quick laugh with Jesse Jones.
Yes, which is another 15-20 minutes where he was able to just take in the lights after a nice little heavy training session.
And getting prepared for his match later on.
Anything else you'd like to discuss from the weekend?
What do you mean?
Anything else you'd like to pick up?
We could mention Drew.
Would you also like to mention WWE Payback? And congratulations to Jinder Mahal.
I was going to after...
Would you like to mention Drew and his multicoloured chest?
Yes, I would like to mention that.
So go on, you mentioned the slap heard from around Cheshire and Shrewsbury.
And also Wolverhampton.
And Yam Yam Land.
All I'll say is, TJ Sky was doing his usual, getting advantage over Chris Drew, who was being gobby as usual, in the crowd. And then, if I recall, what ended up happening?
I think TJ Sky had held Chris Drew ready for your chop.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect to chop him. I never called for it.
Did you open slap him?
I give him a wrestling chop. Friendly.
I think you open chest slapped him.
I have no idea what you're on about.
Whatever is used at the Burning Truth may or may not be used for physical evidence in the case of court.
I never assaulted him.
Did you hit him in the chest with your bare hand?
He's a wrestler.
In the case of, if he's a wrestler means yes, then yes you did. Because I've got it on photo proof.
And there's also video evidence.
Which means you could have come to UKWA with me.
What?
When I went shopping today, you could have represented with me.
I could have represented?
Yes. Instead of being a boring twat.
What, because I was busy working?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have to get extra pennies.
I'll be having a word with your payroll superiors.
I should go for it. I don't mind.
But no, really good day. Welcome by all round. Would you like to discuss some of the alternative competition? So, in June, we have got Sweet Soraya Knight versus a competitor in Liverpool, which should be a great match for women's wrestling.
That it would be.
I think it is Little Miss Roxy.
Who, in case anybody doesn't know, is actually wrestled for WCPW.
But she is amazing. Great competitor on the UK scene, and should be an amazing match.
And also a fan of the UK Wrestle Fan Zone as well.
Yes. Who else have we got coming in the next couple of weeks? Obviously, you've got PW for You,
Yeah.
which is one of the shows we shall be at in the next couple of weeks. Nice and local. It means Matt can't be fucking late for the next shows. No doubt he will.
I won't
find
be.
a fucking way.
I won't be because I've already freed up me.
He'll probably be messaging me on the 500 going, I've frozen my gearbox.
Frozen me gear? You don't know much about cars, do you?
I'm just expecting the lame ass excuses from you.
No, I've actually always turned up. If I've actually been late, I've always owned up and stated why I'm late.
But no, really interesting. I appreciate Sean sending the message in. So, as a final talk point, what would you like to talk about?
I know Wrestle Midlands at the moment in time currently had Leo Rush.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he can't make it.
Haven't they had to pay him though?
Not too sure if they have or
So,
not.
from my standpoint, when you book a wrestler, do you pay the wrestler on the day or do you pay him in instalments? How does that work if you are a wrestler?
In some cases, it can vary from person to
Does
person.
it go on stature? Does it go on reputation?
Some people...
How would you want to be paid, since you are the professional here?
Right. Some people can either ask for it up front, which some may agree with, saying, "Oh, you got to pay up front, for the travel and whatnot, and then get your money back." Problem is, there's an issue with that. A good example of that would be the Boogeyman, if we recall over the British scene.
But also Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes was supposed to wrestle in a company, cancelled due to travel restrictions, but in Damien Sandow.
Yes.
Which means he's not the same money as Cody Rhodes.
Correct.
How do you adjust ticket prices, demo costs?
If I'm not mistaken, I think the way Wrestle Midlands have handled this has been nothing but absolute professionalism. Because when they actually stated on it that he is coming to the show, a lot of people may have booked to see Leo Rush. Right? They've literally stated they have replaced him with CZW star, if I'm not mistaken, David Starr. Right? So with that, they have put it in. If you would like to have a full refund, as you were originally advertised to see Leo Rush, you are
Second in command.
You are basically okay to ask for a full refund.
But no, so that's the sort of things that differ at the moment. So from this standpoint, as a last message, where would you like to be the UK scene in the next 3 to 4 months, post or pre-election?
I'd like to see it thriving. I like to see it, literally, getting more. And the one thing that we are seeing more of, because of WWE, because of NXT, if I'm not mistaken, Chicago, which match stole the show?
The British match.
Yes. And who's it between?
See, my problem with that match, they didn't show half as much as they could have.
Yeah.
So yes, you've got Gladio access to like 60,000 different limit breaks. Is that what you want from a downloadable content?
For NXT. Fair enough.
Or would you rather carry on from level 50, level 55 and tackle the same ruins that Gladio's got?
Could you repeat the...
So, on there, from like WWE and like a gaming standpoint, from like NXT,
Right.
would you rather NXT move on, or would you rather them game from where they are?
If I'm honest with you, the problem that I had, I agree with you. The problem is WWE don't want them to reveal everything to them, to the public. They revealed quite a bit with what they did, which was an amazing match.
Mm.
The question is when they have a rematch, are they going to have to step it up again?
I'm sorry there, folks. My mind switched off into a different part of my head.
Genre, yes.
Because
Yeah.
in my head, I've been asked two different questions. So in my head, I'm still looking at questions that have been asked by the same person. I was looking on my phone. He's gone, do you feel this? And do you feel that at the same time? So I do apologise. My Gladio content is going from my Final Fantasy.
Yeah, from your gaming knowledge, which
Yeah.
straight away at first baffled me. I will state. You almost lost me then. Don't stay with me, bro. Stay with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. You know, do you want them to literally just go up, throw everything in, just go, boom, that's everything, and then them to say, well, then you can't have another match because you've just revealed everything. Or do you want them to reel back so they can reveal more later on?
It's just all in one, isn't it? Like, do you want everything all as one point, or do you want slow burn?
If I'm honest with you, I don't mind a good slow burn from time to time.
I think I'd rather a 3 to 6 month.
Yeah, I agree with that. You don't want to just go straight off and then everything just be released and be gone. Because then once it's out there and you've already done it, it's out there. And anything that you do, if you do it again, just repeating it. Oh, but you did that last time. But that's always the question with wrestling. But then again, you know, it's like with Mick Foley when he did the high risk stuff. He always wanted to do one more, go further, go dangerouser, and then he got to a point where he almost pretty much killed himself almost, if I'm not mistaken.
He could have gone further.
He could have gone further, but then got told
Did
by
Mick
Vince.
Foley ever go the full way?
What do you mean?
So Mick Foley had his King of the Deathmatch tournament.
Yeah.
You never saw him go that far again. You never saw the barbed wire death matches.
I think he's
You only saw, and I don't mean this in a bad way, Mick Foley 96 to 2000 was only 40% Mick Foley.
Yeah.
You never saw
100% Foley.
You never saw 100% Cactus Jack.
There's a reason why. I don't think people will be living. Really? You think so?
If Terry Funk was allowed to do what Terry Funk wanted to do,
I think people will be
I think you would have potentially one of the best feuds that would have paid out.
Yeah.
Which goes back to the original question, would WCW have survived?
No.
I don't think so. I think Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie would have took it to another level.
Yeah.
But Mick Foley, King of the Deathmatch. Which goes on to a different subject. Where does hardcore wrestling stand in UK terms today? Apart from ICW, where does that insane standard rest in today's wrestling?
Wrestling today.
Is it over publicised? Is it under publicised? Where does hardcore championship wrestling rest in British wrestling? Is there a market for it? Is there a market where people want to see blood, gore and violence?
There's always that potential that there's people who want to see the blood, gore and the violence and everything, which is always going to happen. But the problem is, you've always got to take into account the health and safety of the wrestlers, because regardless of it, I don't care what anybody else says. If you're going to be doing a hardcore match, regardless of it, you are putting your body on the line. And I've actually done a tables match myself, a hardcore match.
If I remember, said tables match, didn't said promotion forget to remove the painter's bar
out of the table, which hit me.
Didn't you end up impregnating said in tables bar?
No, it didn't.
And there was a baby Matthew Burns.
No. I just remember it knocking it into me back in certain locations and me being in a lot of pain due to being powerbombed to the table.
Pussy.
Let's see you take one.
Undefeated over here. King of the street fight.
No. Cheap shot.
King
of the cheap shot.
Fight.
Anyway.
King of the street fight.
You wish.
Who beat AJ Hughes? Besides everyone else on the British wrestling scene.
Oh, everyone says that. Of course, you handed it was a perfect 10.
But did I win on the streets?
You didn't pin him. But you had him beat.
Who beat Matthew Bones?
Nobody.
1-on-1.
No, you didn't.
On the street.
You didn't. Doesn't count.
Who had that?
Doesn't count. Cheap shot. Wasn't a match.
Stoke on Gentile World Champion over here, baby.
Fuck off. You wish.
Semi-retired over here.
Semi-retired.
Who is closer to the in-ring return at this moment in time?
You really want to go down that road?
Would you like to answer that question?
Yes, I would actually.
Go on.
Me.
Really?
Yes. I am actually getting very, very close to it.
So if you want to get cleared tomorrow, and I want to get cleared tomorrow, who is more likely to be cleared?
I actually think me.
Really?
Really?
Shall we try this test?
Let's try to potentially... We'll have the results next week.
Folks, there's a clear winner, and then there's someone who's clearly in denial.
What? I ain't in denial.
He is in denial, folks.
Really?
The one and true superstar, Rated R!
Rated M.
Yeah, the Rated N superstar!
Actually, we changed that. The Rated G.
I'm not wearing G-string.
The Rated G.
Rated A.
Really? You're more of a B+ player.
You're more of a C+ player.
C++.
At least Stephanie would waterboard me.
Please. The last time I checked, she didn't waterboard anybody. That was Triple H.
Well, at least Stephanie would try to waterboard me.
You still wish.
If Stephanie looked at you, she'd go, Hunter, kill!
And I just have to duck the shovel.
So, where would you like to finish this week on?
Where would I like to finish this week on? I'd like to finish on one topic, right? And I would like for us to do this at least once a week. Who, as any superstar recently on the British wrestling scene, stood out to you?
Recently?
Recently.
Has anyone stood out to me recently? Is this on minor independence, full independence?
This is on the British scene, independence. It's just independence.
Who stuck out to me independently?
And I would like to do this at least every week, if possible.
See, it's odd because we've just had an NXT takeover, which has featured probably the best British wrestling match.
Potentially, but that's on the mainstream. That is non-mainstream.
But it's with non-mainstream talents.
Okay. Do you want to include
but
them?
We've also had Alistair Black.
He's one thing I will point out that you may not know. He's not actually British.
But he's from the British scene.
He is from the British scene, but he's not actually British. Just to point that out.
I suppose if we're looking at a British scene, who's impressed me from a British standpoint, one of the main people that always impresses me, which would be the sensational Saul Adams.
Yours is Saul Adams. And as much, for me, as much as we've mocked him, we have joked about him.
Are you saying Chris Drew?
I am saying Chris Drew.
Do you two want to get a room and go chopping?
No.
Fucking Chris Drew's got more pushing for a cushion there.
Oh, shut up. There's a reason.
Sure you and Chris Drew aren't having like a late night loving?
No, we're not.
I can put Signal 1 on for you if you want. You know, Simon Morricone would more than love to see you two in a room together.
Listen.
You know,
I know how much.
White.
Listen.
Get it on.
I know how much you want to love.
Giving
Listen to
yourself
late
to
night
me
love.
Can never be wrong.
Really?
If
Anyway, no.
love is true.
I don't mean that in the sense of.
Oh, baby.
No, let me get my points across now. The reason why I think Chris Drew is, I think he is a potential wrestler to keep an eye on, and that's what I'm saying. This is the segment I wanted to bring potentially each week, for us to bring a wrestler who we think has a potential, a future potential, or I'm not just saying like in the sense of he's going to be a megastar and everything. You don't have to be. He's got a potential to be a rising star. The reason why I think that is because look at how we saw him at Wolf and Pro. We've seen him at other shows, right? We've seen how he interacts with the crowd. Fantastic. I think he's a fantastic worker. Knows how to.
When he wins his first championship and has to carry a company, then we will see.
I agree with you.
He is a very good mid-card player.
No.
When he gets his mid championship and a company relies on him,
which I think
a company does not rely on him at the moment.
He
has the potential for a company to rely on him.
I agree with you,
but they don't.
They may not have yet.
In all fairness, all I think that Chris Drew is missing is identity.
But that's your view. But I've seen
he needs to focus on what he wants to be instead of what people want him to be.
I agree with you.
Once he realises what he wants to be, he will be the star that he needs to be.
I think
he's
got
not
the
far
tools.
off it. Once he's gravitated towards how he wants to define that character, then he will be the star that he deserves to be. If he doesn't define his character, he will carry on being what he is.
Not what I was aiming for this segment, but never mind. I was aiming more so for for us to potentially to bring out just mention talent that we think.
Oh no, he's brilliant, really good to watch. I think he is stuck in what people want him to be and what he wants to be.
Right.
Which is a fine line.
I got what you're saying.
Between superstar and superstar.
Basically,
when I say superstar and superstar, people are going to go, there's no difference. There is.
A difference.
Superstar in your mind compared to what my mind is are two different ideas.
What you mean is he's cracking at that ceiling.
I wouldn't even say cracking at the ceiling. I'd say he is lost in what people and his imagination want him to be instead of what his imagination needs him to be. And once he's figured out that the crowd will come with him instead of trying to please them, to boo them, that will be a more important factor.
Fair enough, that's your view. My personal view, I think he actually does great work as a heel.
Oh no, brilliant work as a heel. Even if it takes a beating from you. Someone's got to sell you.
Really?
Matt Burns slap t-shirts coming soon, folks.
I got 5!
I got 5
on it. But anyway, the idea being is I just wanted to bring in a segment where we can just highlight a wrestler.
And it'll change each week. But I honestly believe he is probably 3 months off being where he needs to be.
Yeah, you think so? 3 months. That's fine.
So, that's that. So, from a standpoint, you can follow us at theburningtruth@outlook.com.
Yeah, which is our email.
You can also follow Matthewy Burns on Facebook.
On Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram.
You can also follow...
No one uses Twitter, as I proved last week.
Shut up. We do use Twitter.
No one uses Twitter.
Yes, we do.
No one.
Yes, we do.
No one.
Anyway, returning back, you can actually get in touch with us either through email, Facebook, Twitter, and we've also got our own Instagram as well. Is there anything else you'd like to plug?
No. So, our interview, obviously, we've got Nightshade on there at the moment. Really good interview.
We recommend you
Please
watching that.
watch.
We do recommend you watching that on YouTube. We definitely recommend, and also check out any of the other previous interviews that we've had, because straight away I can name some names straight away that we've done. We've got Drill, the UKWA champion.
It'd probably be better with who we've got coming up. So in a couple of weeks, you have got Chris Drew.
Yes.
You have got Jesse Jones.
Jesse Jones. We've also
got Millie McKenzie.
Got Millie McKenzie. We've got Drake Winters. And we've got potentially some other future stars to add on to it soon, because we're already getting people asking us, which is a nice feeling.
Yes. So other than that, folks.
So with that, we're going to recommend a few recommendations right now. As always, there's always Team 4-Star, which we always recommend. There's always Botchamania. We always recommend the UK Wrestle Fan Zone and the UKWA. And we do recommend potentially if anybody's interested in UK changes as well. We do recommend giving that a check out as well. Is there anything else you want to give a shout out to?
No, that's everything, folks.
I think that's everything. So with that, stay well, stay safe, and as always, check out your local wrestling or just wrestling in general. Have fun, and hopefully, if I'm not mistaken, we are back here next week.
Yes, but we're also at FCW tomorrow.
We are at FCW tomorrow in Gornal.
Yes, and we'll also be, hopefully, releasing a double review after this by next Friday, which will be FCW and what we covered at Venom. I will be writing a brief overview for FCW.
Fair enough.
A very brief overview. We will not be covering results, nor play-by-play. It'll be an overview, just on how we thought the show went.
That's fine.
And I've also got a written insight into the WCW argument that we had, which will come out over the next month.
Potentially, so we've got plenty of content coming to you soon.
Because the ECW argument is more a financial argument than it is a fiscal argument.
Yeah.
So we'll be covering that more financially, which is probably my area.
That would be
it is Matt's area.
And this is where I will bow out on the financial area. I have not got a degree in finances and everything, but here's the thing. I'll leave that to Nate. If it's anything to do with arm bars, body locks and body slams, leave that to me.
Well, it depends.
Please. Anyway, moving on with that. So stay well, stay safe, and catch you next week. Bye.
Bye, folks.